Kelvin, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Coach. I'm doing well. Always good to hear your voice.
Well, it's always good to hear yours, and I know that things are going much better for you than they were after the tornado. Tell me a little bit about what's going on in your life and how things have come down for you.
Well, Coach, 5 years ago we had that destructive storm in Tuscaloosa, and since that day I've been busy trying to keep a congregation together and build a worship center. And finally on Monday this past week, we were able to break ground. So that took a burden off of me, and I'm excited and thankful. Of course, my heart grieves as we commemorate that 5 years ago. People lost their lives, and we want to remember them. But we are delighted to be able to see the progress that's been made in Tuscaloosa.
Well, while we're on that subject, why don't you tell our listeners how they can help with you, I guess, financially. Tell them how they can help.
Well, of course, prayers, we don't ever get enough of those, and we certainly would appreciate that. Those that would like to help College Hill, of course, we are rebuilding our worship center, which is called the Reverend Sylvester Croom Worship Center. And we also will have a walk of faith that is named after my father. He was the organizer and founder of this church back in 1981. And they can go to the church website, which is collegehillbaptistchurch.org. And we have a capital fundraising campaign going on where we are selling pavers, brick pavers, and people can purchase those. A 4x8 brick or a 4x12 or 4x24 in the memory of a loved one, and they can have it engraved in their name and have artwork put on that brick, and it will be placed there as a memorable item for the future, and so people can come back to the church and they can see their brick there. So that's on the church website, www.collegehillbaptistchurch.org.
You give the Barry the address for me, because I'm not very good on the website, and I'll send you something.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Just give Barry your address and tell me where to make it to. I'll send you something.
Appreciate you.
I know you took care of my kids. I guess they were kids back then, players. Academically, sometimes good, sometimes bad, I guess. I really didn't. I thought I had pretty good kids. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I was director of player development there, and also academic advisor. And, Coach, I didn't have any problems with your kids. I just had one young man that was in your office, and he didn't want to listen to you, and he kind of tipped that side of you, and after restraining you from going after him, I have that picture in my mind now, and he was looked like about 6'10".
Let's keep that picture in your mind too.
And I'm not going to call his name, but okay. You probably know who he is. He could have played football or either basketball. He was. I will say that.
Can I guess his name?
Let's not do it. Let's not do it. I don't want to. Hey, he's probably turned into a great. I was a
little angry.
You were a lot angry. Hey, I even got back in the corner. But your guys, they did a great job, and we can see that how they're contributing now to society. So we were very appreciative. I never had any issues. If I did, I just tell you about it, and it was resolved. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Barry?
Well, Dr. Croom, tell everybody kind of about your memories of the storm, kind of how you saw it maybe change Tuscaloosa for the good or the worse. I know we had a lot of loved ones that were affected by it. Just kind of, what you saw then, how tragic it was, and then fast forward it. And in some ways, I think maybe Alberta has been the last place that has gotten touched and rebuilt, which is kind of a shame. So I'm glad that the church has broken ground there now. But just kind of take us through the process of when all this happened all the way up through now and the changes that you've seen here in Tuscaloosa.
Well, that day, all of us have stories and remembering where we were and what we were doing. I actually was in South Tuscaloosa at my daughter's home. And, of course, being familiar with the weather patterns, I was very disturbed that people were not being cautious enough
Right.
To understand. After the first wave of storms came through and the sun came back out, I knew that was not in our best interest. People went outside and began to celebrate and forgot about it, but there were other storms coming out of the west, out of Mississippi, headed towards, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful interim during those storms, and then it all hit, and it changed our lives forever. At that time, unfortunately, I was weighing about 317 and 320 pounds, and that storm woke me up to that point, because when the devastation occurred, and I knew it hit in the area that Alberta, and I had family and church there, I could not go. And I felt that because of me not caring for my body like I should have, and I would never let that happen again. And so that made a impact upon me. And now I thank the good Lord that I'm down around about 249 pounds, and will continue to work to get lower. But my children went out to the Alberta area, and they were able to call back, and they just told me, Dad, it's unbelievable. Like a bomb went off out here. And I remember my youngest son called several hours after he was out helping people and so forth, and he just told me, Dad, I don't even know where I am, because he couldn't see the familiar landmarks and so forth. And we just continued to try to be there to support people. And I finally was able to get out a couple of days after the storm and saw the devastation in person. And I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. But I do recall, though, all of the different instances, hearing about where people were helping people
Yes.
that didn't know each other, people from different races, different sides of town, and so forth. And I was very pleased to see how people work together with that. My son Kevin is a songwriter, and I remember later on he wrote a song that talked about spread the love and showed pictures of how people rallied together and supported one another and carrying each other out of debris areas. So again, listening to those people who were trying to find their loved ones and had no idea, and going on television and asking people if you've seen people. So it made an impact on my life, made an impact on the congregation. And I'm very excited about what I'm seeing now in Tuscaloosa with the recovery. We've had great leadership in that area from our mayor, and I think all of the citizens rallying together. Those of you who are coming to Tuscaloosa, Tuscaloosa is better than what it was at that time.
Well, I want to commend you and Dad. He and I were talking off air. It's been 5 years, and he's been having his worship service over at the Belk Center. And he said, basically, you got to set all the chairs up, have a service, then break it all down. It's almost like building a church every Sunday. But for you to stick with it, a lot of people, to break ground on that church Monday says a lot about your character, because a lot of people just said, you know what, this thing's taking too long, just throw my hands up and look, I'm going to throw it in and do something else or go somewhere else. So I want to commend you to sticking to it. Hey, I know it took a long time to get that. 5 years probably seems like 20 after you've been breaking that Belk Center down. So I hope everything goes great. So, it would have been easy to walk away, but you're a living testimony right here to what you've done to break ground for that church on Monday.
Well, we couldn't walk away. Again, the church family stuck together, and we were committed to come back to Alberta. We blessed in that area with a lot of things happening. We call Alberta the gateway to the UA. And just excited about what's going on with the school there and the other businesses that have come back and the ones that are due to come back. So we're excited about Alberta and glad to be back there.
Give us that website. Once again, I'm going to write it down so I can tell everybody next couple of days. College Hill Baptist Church.org. Okay. So you can go on collegehillbaptistchurch.org. If you want to look, donate, they'll put a brick, I guess, in the pavement with your information on there. Dad, you got anything else for Dr. Croom?
No, I can't think of anything. I just want to thank him for what he does. I tell you, that family, his dad, led the prayers for Coach Bryant. I got the head job in 1980, and he led the prayers for us when he could at home. Sylvester has been, of course, we've had him on a show several times. There's not a better person, football coach, than he, and Kelvin's right in line with those. And I want to thank him and tell him how much I appreciate for what he did for the university and what his whole family did for the university. Not just him, the whole family. His dad was unbelievable. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Coach, and we thank you for what you've done for this great state of ours, and not only basketball, but just helping us in Alabama to be the best that we can be.
How is old Sylvester doing? Is he doing okay?
He's probably nervous right now. The draft is tomorrow, I believe it is. So but he's doing quite well, and he loves the University of Alabama, and looking forward to getting back to Tuscaloosa soon.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll get you back sometime and find out how the progress is going. Daddy said 10 months. I hope that's right. It's going to take a lot of prayers to get a church built in 10 months, so we need to do that for him, but good luck with all that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.